everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to do a video running through Liverpool's new signings for the summer so far.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
We filmed that podcast on Monday, and I was
Yeah.
like, not concerned, just
It's fine.
it's fine, not concerned. And then I was saying that we hadn't signed anyone, and then in the nature of the role, they signed 4 people in 4 days after that video went out.
Here we are on Saturday with 4 brand new players, and you're like, nice one. It always works out that way.
I love to be proved wrong, and I certainly did get proved wrong.
You certainly did. But yeah, like Amy said, then 4 new signings to run through from this week. We'll go straight into it with the first player that we signed. I think it was Tuesday as well that it was announced, and that was that Leanne Kiernan had signed. She played under Matt Beard at West Ham. I think it was Matt Beard who gave her first professional contract at West Ham, I want to say.
Yeah.
Born in Ireland, she's a striker, can play on the wing as well. 22 years old, so she's only young. So there's plenty of room for her to sort of improve for her career. And obviously, coming in, being a versatile player, both playing striker and winger, that's kind of what Liverpool need, is more forward players going into the new season, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I feel like we'd all kind of wondered about this one. I think her name was thrown into a mix a few times before she'd actually signed. I think we even mentioned her as one of those who we would look at when me and you were discussing on a couple of shows ago. So for that one to come off is really great. I mean, I think she had a good stint at West Ham. I mean, obviously with it being her first professional contract, there's always so much that you can learn, regardless of whether you're actually on the pitch or you're just learning from those around you in like a more professional environment. So there's no doubt she would have learned a lot from there. I think what bodes really well for her is the fact that she already knows Matt and she already knows his ethos, his style of play. So hopefully that period of settling into a new squad is as easy as possible for her, because she knows the managers come in at the same time, and hopefully it all just fuses together really nicely. But you were right by saying we need more forward players. There's been absolutely no doubt for the last probably 3 seasons we've just not had one goal scorer, and 2 just enough players getting on the score sheet consistently. I think that's probably the main thing as well. So hopefully that's something that she'll bring. But I was really happy when that one came through.
Yeah, and I think it bodes well for her as well. 15 appearances for Republic of Ireland. I think it's always nice when you sign a player that if they're involved in the national team and they've been capped by the national team multiple times, that sort of gives off a good impression that she's well thought of when it comes to playing the game. So I think that always bodes well when a new player comes in, and whether they're still being young as well. I think that's probably one of the main things for me. I think especially
as well.
Yeah, I think you sort of need a lot of players with a lot of energy. And I think especially the way that we were playing, especially towards the back end of the season, we were counting on that energy, especially in the last half of the games. So yeah, really happy about that one. I think there's a theme with some of the players. Well, 3 out of the 4 signings here is that they've all previously worked under Matt Beard.
Yeah.
And I think that always bodes well for a player coming to a new club. The manager hasn't thought of anyone but you. They want to bring you in, so I think that bodes well for them all. We'll move on to. We've got Jana Daniels and Jasmine Matthews, who have both re-signed for Liverpool. We'll talk about Jana Daniels first.
I feel like I've stepped back in time, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like a really, really weird feeling.
Yeah.
That, I remember when these 2 first signed for Liverpool, or however, was it 2018 now or something like that? I remember when they first signed, and the photos were the same, just in a different kit. It's the way I literally felt like deja vu. It was really strange.
Yeah, well, yeah, like you said, then she signed for us back in the 2018-19 season. She had 15 appearances for us, so either 1 goal. while at her time at the club, but I think she made a decent impression on a lot of people while she was here. Obviously left for Bristol City after that season, but yeah, 29 years old, usually plays as a winger or a striker. So again, another forward player that's been brought in, another versatile forward player that you can probably play across the three front positions. And I think especially last season we were very much rotational in our forward players, and I think this season I'd like it to be a lot more consistent, because I feel like that's how you're sort of going to get a team to sort of blend together well and start getting those goals. And I think that a player like Jana Daniels could probably do that for us.
Yeah, I don't know whether, obviously only time will tell, I don't know whether she's been brought in maybe to be more of a squad player or whether she would be a starting player week in, week out, and obviously only time will tell. I think Matt Beard will probably already know. But I think it's tough now because we don't know what's happening with Rince, and she's a proper player for us in terms of a good source of where most of our goals have come from the last few seasons.
Yeah.
He's brought in 2 forward players here, and I guess you just hope that between them, and we might even be bringing more players in. Like, obviously we don't know, but we need someone to fill that Rince-shaped hole if she does leave, which is looking more and more likely every single day. So it's whether these 2 players or one of them individually sort of steps up to that plate. I think we sort of know what we're getting with Jana Daniels, obviously having previously been at the club. I think the one thing for me last time was just the lack of goals from her. I think that's something that we said quite a few times when she was still at the club. But I mean, that was a few years ago now, 2 years. So she's obviously progressed really well at Bristol, hence why Matt wants to bring her to Liverpool. So I'm just really, really hopeful. And again, it's another versatility player. I mean, that can play either as a striker or more on the wing, and I think that's key. I mean, if you can get players that can play in several different positions really well, like, you're winning, because if one of them gets injured, there's space for that other person to fill that hole, and still do a really, really good job out of it.
I think it is important to point out with talk about the 2 strikers there. We're obviously speaking very optimistically in terms of what we would like to see from these players and what we're hoping that we're going to see, and that is goals. But you have got to sort of address the elephant in the room with the 2 of them and sort of look at their past couple of seasons and the goals that they have scored. Leanne Kiernan, she had 3 goals and 31 appearances for West Ham. You then look at Jana Daniels' return, for Liverpool, a season at Liverpool, 15 appearances, 1 goal. At Bristol, 37 appearances, 3 goals. So realistically, you're probably not looking at your players that are going to get you 12 to 15 goals a season. I think if they're going to be your 2 players, your 2 forward signings that you're going to bring in, are they going to be able to sort of get those goals that you need next season? And it's one of them, like you say, your time will tell, but you can't help but sort of have that little bit of, I don't know. I
thought in the back of your head.
Yeah, it's not doubt, but you're a bit wary of, is that going to happen for us? Because looking at Jana Daniels there, 1 goal and 15 appearances for us when she first arrived here on the first spell. Obviously, her second spell could be completely different, but I don't know. You can't help just be a bit wary about it.
I think maybe it's, in terms of Jana Daniels' case, maybe the style of football that we played when she was still at Liverpool just wasn't necessarily suited to her.
Yeah.
And you hope when it comes around this time that it will be better suited. I mean, Matt Beard seems to think that she is suited to his style of play. He'll know. He's the one that's been coaching her for the last few months at Bristol, and he'll have seen her progression and on the training pitch every single day. So he'll know out of anyone if she's the right fit for the job. And turns out at this moment in time, he believes that she is. So I guess that's all we can go off. I think we really need to sort of put trust in the manager. I mean, we've had an absolute torrid time with the relegation, with not getting promoted, a new manager, etc., etc., etc. We just, I think now, just got to put that little bit of trust in, and just, as they say, as cliche as it is, trust the process. And I think that's all we can do really at this point.
We'll move on to, we've covered the forwards there. We'll move on to the defence then. Obviously, I mentioned Jasmine Matthews then. She's returned as well alongside Jana Daniels. She was with us for the 18-19 season. She only made 10 appearances that season.
I loved her, you know. I was
Yeah.
good when she left.
Well, I think that season she was obviously contending with Sophie Bradley-Auckland and Niamh Fahey in that role. Obviously, Leanne Robe as well. So she had to sort of really, like you said then, she was impressive in the times that you did see her. She definitely became a fan favourite at the
Really
club. I think
solid.
a lot of people, were disappointed to see her go when she did go. She's another one of players. I feel like a lot of our centre backs are quite versatile. The fact that they can play in that midfield role as well, which is sort of what she offers us coming in. 28 years old. She had 23 appearances for Bristol last season. I think this is. I'm absolutely happy with this sign. I think it's a solid sign. I think we needed to be sort of shored up at the back a little bit more. Obviously, you've lost Becky Jane as well this summer. You needed someone else who can sort of be versatile across those positions as well. I think she can probably do that for us.
Oh, 100%. I thought she was really good for us. I think it all ended a bit. It didn't end sour. I think she got injured towards the end of that season when she eventually left. So, obviously, sort of when you get injured, you want a fresh start. So that could have been in the back of her mind. But I thought she was really good for us while she was there. Super solid, and quite reliable, which is I think now we have not obviously got Sophie Bradley anymore. And I don't know if you noticed, and whether it'll carry on or not, the back end of last season, Fahey started to play more in the CDM role with Moore and Robe at the back at times. So you don't know whether that's a position Fahey's gonna kind of take up again this season with Amy Rogers leaving. So you don't know, but the fact that she can play in two is a great. I'd probably play her as a centre back over in midfield. Jasmine Matthews, I mean. But there's versatility all across the pitch, isn't there?
It's kind of hard to not hype these players up, but you know, you've seen them before. You kind of know what you're getting from them. Obviously, you know, like you said, styles of play and stuff like that may change, but realistically, if you're thinking about it, Matt Beard's probably has always got his own style of play and technique, and obviously he sees these players at Bristol or West Ham, and he's thought that they're going to be the best place to sort of start that new system at Liverpool. So fingers crossed it all works out well. But I saved this signing till last because I thought out of the four, this is the one that I think me and you were most pleased about. Is that
so far.
Megan Campbell? Yeah, so far. Who knows who else could show up if anyone else? But Megan Campbell from Manchester City signed as well. Which like I said, then me and you were both buzzing about this. She was at City for 5 years between 2016 and 2021. Obviously won a lot while at the club. Helped them to domestic treble as long as other trophies across the years. 27 years old, full back, can play as centre back as well. So again, another very versatile player across those positions. But yeah, I think out of them all, like I said, this is just the one that I was really pleased to see, because I think it's just more of a recognised signing. I'd like to say. I don't know whether you'd agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big name. I mean, you've just listed off so many different things there in terms of what she's achieved, not just domestically, but obviously really solid in an international sense as well. So it is a recognised player from a highly regarded club, which is always good. I think she's been niggled with injuries the last year or two, which has maybe influenced the decision to leave City. So I'm glad that we've been able to get her. She's a player, I feel, and this is not putting pressure on her, hopefully not, and I'm not jinxing it, touch wood. She's the kind of player we need to get out of the Championship.
Yeah.
And she has that experience to be able to do that. She's a WSL player, which I think we now need a balance in our squad of WSL and Championship standard, because it's not just about getting back to WSL, it's about staying there, which is the most important thing. So hopefully she's someone that will be able to sort of jump in and be that person for us, which I think she will. And it's really exciting. It's one I didn't see coming at all.
Yeah.
And I love not knowing, like, just like the randomness of a signing, like not knowing anything about it and then it just happening, because you're like, oh my god, that's unreal. Like Mel Lawley was one of them like 1 or 2 seasons ago when we were like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I'm really excited. And like, I feel like I've said this for every single one so far, but the versatility again is there. I mean, centre back or full back. I mean, you mentioned earlier Becky Jane's gone, so that might be that replacement there. You never know, but it's really, really exciting. I'm that one.
I think obviously you've spoken about 2 defenders there. Like I was just while you were talking, I was trying to list in my head like players that we've got defensively at the minute. And obviously, it says here Megan Campbell is obviously a full-back, can play centre-back. Jasmine Matthews, full-back, can play centre-back. You've got Robe, who can play full-back or centre-back.
More can play midfield.
More can play in midfield. You've then got Roberts, who was playing the right-back role a lot for us last season and plays a lot there for Wales as well when she gets called up.
I love her right back.
Yeah, and I kind of do as well. So I'm thinking, like, what is our back four going to be next season? Like, you have got quite a few options now. That it's like, well, like you mentioned before, is Nifahi going to be in that CDM role? Maybe is Michaela Moore going to be in that CDM role? Maybe with one of them going in. You just don't know. I feel like it's a proper selection headache for Matthew.
I love that though. Like, when you think about it, last season we were playing with very little squad. The last the season, I'm pretty sure even a few of them might have been injured that even were on
last game of the season we had 3 players on the bench and I think 2 of them were keepers.
Crazy.
Or maybe 1 keeper and like 1 youngster,
yeah. So to now have this issue of not knowing who to play actually feels very refreshing. I don't know if you agree. But I'm just so glad I'm not the one that makes those decisions. We just talk about them after.
No. Yeah. God, I'm getting like, I'm trying to think about it now. I'm trying to pick a back four and thinking, what's he going to go with?
Our first predictions of the season, first game, we're going to be way off.
They're probably going to be way off, yeah.
I feel like we should bring starting 11 and score predictions back this season. I'd like to know if other people agree, because we stopped doing it because we kept getting it so wrong and it was starting to get a bit embarrassing. So do you think we should bring it back?
I think so. I'd happily bring it back.
You said it.
I quite like the start 11 one. Like you said, score prediction was always way off for us. So maybe not that one every week. But
maybe we need to get like a board and we can like do it on a board so it's more like fun.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. Then it makes it more fun for us, even if we get it wrong.
We could make it a little competition between us to see who gets the most right across the season.
That's such a good idea.
I think we should do it. We've said it now. We need to do it.
It's on the internet now.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We'll end this then. But the question I want to ask you is, obviously looking at them signs there, 2 defenders, 2 forward players. Where else would you like to improve before the season?
I'd like another more attacking player. I think just you win football games by scoring goals. It's so simple. So we just need to make sure we have as many players on the pitch that have proven that they can do that for us.
Yeah.
So just a couple more attacking players would be amazing. But I just can't wait for the season to start. Like I think I've mentioned this before, but especially now signings coming through as well. Like the first game where you get to see like the signings for the first time, you get to see what the first squad's going to be with the new manager. Like it's so exciting. I don't know whether I'm just like buzzing about it now, and it's like a month and 2 months away.
I know, I'm the same. Yeah, you kind of just want to get into it now and sort of just start, because I can't, like, it sounds really bad to say, but I was like, I kind of want to know how it ends as well. Like, you're
Yeah,
getting,
like, will we be sat here this time next year, like, talking about signings that are going to be, like,
yeah,
in the WSL? Like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah. I mean, like, we played Chelsea on the opening day, and it'll be a big thing and all stuff like that. Yeah, no.
I put a thing out this morning. Who do you want the most on the opening day? Who do you want the first game to be?
I kind of want it to be like I don't know, because
Not a
you
rival.
can't, you kind of look at it, but then you kind of look at it and think maybe if you get one of them out the way straight off the bat very early
Yeah.
on,
I
sometimes it
feel
can
like
be
we
a
always get
blessing in
Durham
disguise.
at the start of the season.
Yeah,
We always get Durham.
I'm
Someone
making it.
replied to that saying they wanted to get Durham. I've taken a few screenshots of people's replies.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna make a prediction now and say that we get Durham in our first 5 games.
Nice. We also had some replies on a story we put out, which is just asking people who they were most excited about for the signings, which is probably a good note to end this on.
Yeah.
Someone did reply, "What's your favorite type of cheese?" Which wasn't part of the
Oh,
question, but the answer is red Leicester or mozzarella. I quite
yeah.
like
Can't go wrong with a classic mozzarella. I'm partial to a bit of goat cheese as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Another that
I
was
didn't judge you for your red Leicester, so don't judge me.
okay. I'm sorry. I take that back. Um, OJPH39 was the one who answered that. Thank you very much for that question. Although it's completely irrelevant, it's fine. BC Vixen Cast, are you trying to sign all of Bristol City? We'll have no one left. It's looking that way.
It's very Liverpool men,
Yeah,
Southampton men vibes, isn't it? At the minute,
it
yeah.
is. Yeah. Ali X Sinclair 16 has said Megan Campbell is the Rory Delap of women's. I believe he meant women's football. I'll have that.
Yeah, well, Matt Beard mentioned that about her long throws,
Yeah.
because that's what Rory Delap was very much known for, wasn't he? It was his long throws, and she can offer us that as well. So
I'll
maybe
take
that's his thinking there.
Our old friend Emma
Oh,
Sanders,
go on.
but Meg Campbell. I think we'll be on this. What?
I was saying who?
Oh yeah, who's that?
Sorry.
I killed it. Sorry. She said Meg Campbell. Another 19N said, "Are you glad to have signed Megan Campbell?" I think the answer is a resounding yes. That's
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we ended that on a nice note there. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I feel like that went really quickly, but I feel like it was good.
It's fine.
It was a
Straight
good
to the
chat.
point. We have 4 new players. Hopefully many more.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, let us know in the comments who your favourite signing will be and how you think they'll get on at Liverpool next season. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time with a new video. Bye.